Hello, my name is Jamie Shaw, and I'm a Senior CAD Support Specialist with the Illinois Department of Transportation. And today we're going to talk digital typical sections. So I've got a brand new drawing here called I-72 Typical Sections. The project I'm working on is Interstate 72 at Massey Lane in Jacksonville, Illinois. So right now I have nothing in here. It's just a blank DGN. I'm going to go ahead and set the coordinate system. It's going to be Illinois West 2011 adjustment. And then I'm going to go ahead and reference in some of the stuff I need. So I need, first of all, I need a survey. So we'll do the Massey Lane survey. I'll go to geometrics and get the existing I-72 alignment. And then I'm going to go to the corridors. I'm going to grab eastbound I-72 corridor and westbound I-72 corridor. I'm going to select open. Once I have all those attached, I can close the reference dialog box and I can do a fit view. First thing I want to do is highlight my terrain model, bump my mouse, and set my terrain model as active. Next thing I want to do is do a right click and do view control, and we're going to do two views, plan and 3D. So I'll do a fit view on each one of those. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can see if my mouse will work. So you can see I've got my corridors all built and everything. My eastbound's already done. You see I've got item types assigned to it. I've got a pay item for HMA surface cores, the stationing for it, and I've got some call outs. If I zoom into the beginning of it, do a rotate view, take my plus and I'm going to put it right on the end of it, and I'm going to rotate around so I can see all my pavement layers. If I come in and zoom in, by my binder course, you see I've got binder course as a pay item on there. The next one down is base course. Next one down sub base, and then sub base again. So you can see I've got all these item types assigned to this. That's on my eastbound lane. Now if I go over and look at my westbound lane, I don't have anything assigned on there. Now since we reference these into my typical section drawing, I need to go back to the corridor to set the item types. I'm missing a few things. I'm missing my bridges and stuff like that, so that's no big deal. I want to clean this up a little bit since we're over here. I want to do a right click and do a level off and turn off these shapes that are in the survey. Then we can come back in just so we got everything looking good. I'll go back to my reference attach. I'll go attach, and I'm going to go into the bridge folder, and I'm going to select all of these. Select open. So now I have my full 3D bridge in there, everything. So now I can change my view, my rotate view. Make sure you make your 3D view active, then do your rotate, just let it top view, and we'll do a fit view on there and come back in. So now we need to jump over to our westbound corridor. So I'm going to go File, Browse, in my project it's D695875. My computer catch up a little bit. I'm going to go to the westbound I-72 corridor. And then it loads up. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the template on this, I think. So I'm going to go to corridors, and I'm going to go to templates, create template, and I'm going to load my ITL file. So I'm going to go open. Template library, ITL, select my ITL file. So once I've got it selected, I can go and close that, and I can come in, zoom in, and find the template drop line. So I'm going to pick that. I'm going to bump my mouse and get my properties. I'm going to change this to undivided. Let me expand this out a little bit so you guys can see. Undivided roll, new asphalt, HMA subbase with asphalt shoulders. Go ahead and select that, let it process. And because I have two template drops in here, I have to go beyond the bridge and do the same thing there. Same template. I have two template drops in here, and that's it. We want the same template drop on each side. And that's sometimes that's common, sometimes it's not. You may have different template drops through here. I'm using two template drops are the same, so our typical section is going to look the same. A lot of times you're going to have different template drops, so when we're cutting typical sections, you want a template drop for each typical section. So the next thing I'm going to do is go back to my template drop, and I'm going to change my interval. It's set at 10 now. I'm going to change it to 5, and then we'll look at our stage and see. And all that does is tighten up my template drops. I don't know if I have my corridor active or not yet. So I pick my corridor and go look at my properties on it, and I'm set my feature definition set to final. So no big deal, everything's done. So if I come zoom in here and pick on my pavement, you see I have no pavement, nothing assigned. So one way you can do this, you can come in to go to your open road standards. So we want to add a item type to it. Go into feature definitions, go to mesh, we're going to go to pavement, and then we're going to go to asphalt. So on surface course, see it says I have two items attached. So what I want to do is clear everything. So I want to move this properties window over so you guys can see a little better. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to uncheck everything. They're set to come in, but I've made some changes on my feature definitions and stuff, so I want to clear all this out. Then I want to come back in and reattach it. So I'm going to go to location first. I'm going to add station. Okay, then I'm going to go to pay items. I'm going to scroll down until I find HMA surface cores, which I already passed it. It's in the H's. HMA surface cores, put a checkbox in it. It loads that one up, so I got two pay items. And I want to come back in, close up the pay items, go all the way down to typicals, and I want to add that typical section call out in there. Alright, so now I have three of them in here. I can go ahead and set this pay item category. If I can type in HMA there and set it to HMA surface cores. Now that's just the category. This is kind of your guys' first introduction to item types. I have all of IDOT's 21,000 coded pay items built into item types. So if I go open item types and look at pay items, you see I have all these item types built in there for pay items. So that's what we're doing. We're assigning item types. So I'm going to do the same thing for base cores, binder cores. So just uncheck everything. And what the reason I'm unchecking everything is that way I get the latest thing from the DGM library, because some of these I had auto assigned, and like I said, I made some changes, so I want to make sure I get the most up-to-date stuff. So I'll come back and select station. I'll go ahead and do typicals while I'm in here, close it, then I'll do my HMA base course on this one. So, and to get to it quickly, you can just type in the search HMA. If you click on the plus sign, it'll only give you the HMA layers. So I want base course on this one. If I'm done, you see I got 3 items I got attached. Do the same thing with binder. Take station off. Take binder off. Click out there. And then we'll come back in and assign it. We'll do location, do station, do typical, and then we'll do HMA binder. So I'm going to do search HMA. Gives me the pay item again, so I just select it and select binder. Alright, and then we'll do it with subbase too. So subbases, we're going to take all 3 of the, or both of the subbases off, take station off, subbase will be under the S's. And like I said before, you can search up here and make it quicker to find them. So I'll do location again, I'll do typical, and then I'll find subbase. And then same thing with subbase number 2. Go ahead and take that off. Take subbase off. Clear it, come back, we'll attach the new item types, do station again, do typicals, and we'll do subbase. Alright, so now we've got our pay items assigned to our feature definitions. We'll close this up for now. We'll come back and hit it in a little while because we want to add some stuff. And you can do this a couple different ways. So I can come in and go to items in my Explorer. So I can pick on surface cores. So it highlights the surface cores, so I can come in and set my surface cores. I could have set my pay item lookup, or my I could have set my category. Let me slide this back over so you guys can see the material unit weight. You'll have to fill out for your district. I just got 145 plugged in here. That's what I was working with. There is an actual formula. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. I've got it wrote down somewhere. But we're going to use HMA surface cores. I think it was in 70. That's what I had on. On the other one. If not, we can come back and change it in a little while. So then our typical section call out, we want to say 1. And then we want to tab to the next column, and our surface course is going to be 1.5 inches. And sometimes this column doesn't take the number, so pay attention. 1.5 inches. So these 2 section callouts, they're a manual process, and I'll show you. So we did just surface course on that. So if I come back and select surface course, see we assigned 2 of them. For some reason, it's picking one up for the table that I built, and then it's picking the other one up for the call out. So we have actual 2 of them in here for right now until I can get it straightened out. So typical section call out, I'm going to go ahead and fill this box out just like I did up above. As soon as I get done spinning. 1-1.5 inches. Hit enter, and then in my station I can type in my reference alignment. So this is going to be westbound I-72. So if I type in westbound space I-72, hit enter, it'll plug in my stations through there. So I can do the same thing with binder cores. Close up surface. So you can change it in the properties box or you can change it in the Explorer, either one. So I got binder, same thing with that. I'll put my lookup category. So type HMA, pick binder. And we want all these to match, so I'll have to look at my table once I get it done. I might have to jump over and we'll go binder cores in 70. It'll load up your pay item number and your pay item unit. What it's doing, it's looking up at a lookup table in the background and returning your pay item number and your pay item unit. So binders in tons, so we'll do 145 here, hit enter. It'll calculate your tons. This is going to be number 2 on our call out, and it's going to be a 1/2 inch. So come on, 1/2 inch. And see, it didn't take my 1, so gotta pay attention to that. So there's my 1/2 inch. And then we'll go ahead and work through the rest of these. So I will pause the video, I'll get these done real quick, and then I'll show you. Alright, I've got everything, I think, set up here, so I'm going to drag my properties window over. I'm going to zoom in to the front of the job, do my rotate. When you're selecting this crosshair, make sure you snap to a point, that way you're rotating about that point when you rotate around. Alright, so I need to look at my HMA shoulders, so you can select one of them and hold your control and come and pick the other one. So you see I've got that. My reference alignment is going to be westbound I-72. Alright, and then we can do that to that one too, but we're missing something on each one of these. So I'll go ahead and set my reference alignment. Westbound, I'm sorry. Westbound I-72. And hit enter on that. Then we'll go back to our feature definitions real quick. And we want to scroll back down into our mesh, our pavement, and go to our shoulders. And we want to go in here and we want to add that typical box down at the bottom. Typical there on ag shoulder, and then come over and select HMA shoulder. Select how many items are attached. Scroll. You can hit the plus sign so you don't have to scroll through all that. Then select the typical section callout, pick off in space, it'll load it up. Now if we go back to our 3D view, slide our properties over so we can see, we pick HMA shoulder. You see now at the bottom I've got the typical section callout, and this will all make sense in a little while. So we'll type 6 in there. Just match what I have up in the pay item shoulders, and this will make sense once we cut the typicals and everything. So, and we got 6 inches. Hit enter, and then we'll do the same with our HMA shoulders. Our ag shoulders. I'm sorry. And then we're going to make that call out number 7, and then we're going to add 6 inches to this one too. So 6 inches, hit enter. Alright, so now we have all our pay items set up, all our coded pay items set up in our 3D model. I mean, if you're going to do topsoil and EarthX and all that stuff too, you can add all those individually. The easiest way to add stuff is go up and do attach item, and come in and pay items, put a checkbox in the pay item you want to attach, and then select either the 3D element or the 2D element, and it attaches to it. Most of these item types should be done and working properly. There may be a few here and there. If you run into one that's not working properly, let me know. So I'm going to do a save settings, and then I'm going to go back to my typical section drawing. And I'm getting long in the, so we're going to go to I-72 typical sections. Alright, so here we'll do a zoom extents, and I should already set my terrain model as active. Let's double check it though. Set my terrain model as active. It is active. I'm going to do a right click, view control, two views, plan in 3D, because we're going to cut a typical section, and a typical section is basically just a cross section. Now there's other ways you can do this. You can use index points, or you can do it this way. I'm going to show you this way. It's pretty easy. So I'm going to go to drawing production. You have to have a 3D view open for a cross section. So I'm going to select placing in the boundary. I'm going to pick this civil cross section option. In my drawing sheet, I'm going to pick typical sections. I'm going to pick a scale of 1 to 10, and then I'm going to pick my center line. Now my first cross section I want at 115. Whoops. 115 plus 0, 0. And then I want to hit tab on that, and I want to type 115 at the ending location, because I want a typical section. I don't want cross sections. And we're just going to do one for now, on the amount of time, because this video is running kind of long now. So we'll give up. I go ahead and, if you're going to cut more than one, you wouldn't want to create the drawing till the end. So I only have one right now, so I'm just going to left click to accept it. You see it's there, picking up both sides, left again, left again. You can make it a little bit longer. In the create drawing dialog box, we want to set our scale to 1 to 10, and I want to set the cross section drawing to existing proposed typical section. Now we have a cross section proposed typical section, and we have cross section existing typical section. So you can do both with this method. So once I have that set, that should be 1 to 10 there. Hit OK. It'll come in and create my typical section. Alright, so I'm going to jump to my drawing model, because the civil labeler it won't work in the sheet model. I want my arrows filled in. I want my gray boxes off, so I'll turn off background, I'll turn on fill, and I'm going to go to civil labeler. And it's over on my other screen. I'll drag it over here, so I made it a little smaller so you guys can see. I'm going to hit the plus sign next to typical section and pick typical section ID, and I need to make this bigger so I get all my buttons. Alright, so once I do that, I'm going to hit, where am I? So I'm going to zoom in here and hit place, and I'm going to pick base course. And you see it puts a 1 in there. Then I can come in and I can select the one underneath of it if I can get a hold of it. You might have to find a spot where you can get a hold of it. So So I kind of just picked in there. It didn't give me a call out. So let's try that again. It's not giving it to me. So we'll come back to that one in a second. So I'm going to pick this one. And see, it's not picking up some of the stuff. So there's that one. There's that one. So I can do an undo real quick. And see, that's service course. I'm going to pause again for a second.